Hello, hello, and welcome to the Be the CEO of Your Life live show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Yvonne Dam of Amazing Self Coaching. And in this show, I share with you personal experiences from my coaching, and I invite amazing guests that help you to become the CEO of your life. And I'm very excited because today is here with me, Beatrice.
Hi,
Hi, Beatrice.
Yvonne.
Hi. How
So
are you
lovely to
feeling?
be here.
Yeah, we've been speaking well, for you all evening and for me all day actually. And I'm very, very excited because today is a very special day, right?
It is very special day.
Okay. Well, before we dive into that, because I feel so excited about it, I just want to start talking about it. Maybe can you first introduce yourself to the people that are watching and who don't know you yet?
Of course, yes. My name is Beatrice Boots, Beatrice Boots in the Netherlands, and I am an intuitive business coach who helps women that are want to use their intuition more, to live from their heart. Oh, there's an echo. You hear it? No. So the women who want to use more intuition in their business to make better business decisions from the heart instead of from the head. We're so programmed by the head in our male dominated society that it's very hard to live and work from the head is my experience.
I love it. I love it. And today is a special day. We already said it. Can you tell why it is so special?
Yeah, it feels like I'm having my birthday hundredfold today. It feels really, really special. I've become a bestseller author on Amazon today with the book I wrote a chapter in.
I feel very excited. It's not even my book. I'm just excited for you.
I know you feel very excited for me, and it's so lovely, Ivona. I really, really appreciate it. I can feel it through the screen all the way from the Netherlands to Perth because I'm in Perth.
I love that. Okay, so there's somebody who's asking a question, and I want to keep it interactive, right? So, as a male, do I do something else now? Good question, I think. It's because you spoke about how you help women.
Yes, of course, I'm also very open to help men. I just tend to have females as my clients, but anybody who would want to use more intuition in their life and business, I'm very excited to guide them because I think that men and women have a female and a masculine side, and we have all been programmed to use only the masculine side. At the end of the day, there's no real difference there.
Yeah, and just to dive into that, because there might be a misconception there as well, because you spoke about a male-dominated world, right? Now, if I would be male, I might be offended. Well,
Yes, maybe I formulated it wrong. I meant a left brain orientated world. We have been living in a patriarchic society for so long, and both women and men have suffered from that. Women have suffered from it because they have been suppressed, oppressed, and men, I think, have been used as I don't really know how to say it in English, kanonnenvoer. So they have been used basically as, they have been going to war for centuries and being used to fight and having to be tough and needing to protect and need to be the breadwinner and all of that. So we have both females and males suffered from this, domination on the left brain.
right. And what you're actually doing is, you're taking the world as is, but you're more focusing on the intuitive, so the right side of the brain to being balanced back. And that balance is there for both men and women because we both have the masculine and the feminine side in us. It doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a girl, you both have it. And it's more bringing that balance. And because a lot of us are more used to the doing, the masculine side, you're helping with really, trusting and working with that other side, the more feminine, the more intuitive side.
Yes, more intuitive, and also taking your breaks, because indeed, we're always in doing mode, and I've suffered from that myself. And actually, when I met you, Yvonne, I was very much in that mode myself. I was very much in the doing mode myself. I had a travel business, and in my travel business, I thought, as long as I work really hard, I'll make it a success. And that's just a mistake, because we don't make it a success by working too hard. We need that femininity and that more pause-taking part to let things unfold. And actually, I like to compare it with, for instance, when you make a cup of tea, you have first the thought of making a cup of tea. You bring your body to the kettle. That's a masculine activity. It's active. Then you're putting the water on and you let it boil. That is a process that needs to happen before you can pour the water into the cup. So that's the same thing. So the boiling is the feminine part. It's the process. It's the happening of it, the unfolding. And then you pour the water in your teapot, and that is a masculine action that is needed, of course. They're both needed. And then you let it infuse, and you wait till you can drink your cup of tea.
And it's feminine again.
And it's feminine again.
Right. I love this example. Okay. Now, thank you for sharing that. And I think, your story, you've written a great story, and the story is called The Gift. And I have the book here on my phone that I want to share with you. I hope I'm able to. Can you see it? Ooh,
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising, Powerful Women Who Rose from the Ashes to Claim Their Place. And it's a bestseller. It's been released today.
Yes, it's been released today
on Amazon, and you are part of it. Tell us a bit about your story, because I read it this morning and I honestly was brought to tears. I cannot recommend it enough, but I would love for you to tell a bit about it.
Okay, so what I want to say about it first is, when I was writing the story myself, when I was writing the story down, I thought I had digested this trauma, and I'll tell a little bit about that later, but I thought I had digested the trauma. But when I was writing it, it just was a layer after a layer after a layer of releasing the trauma, because it was very, very big. So basically, it's one day of my life in Paris where I was, for work reasons, I was going to bring a group of women through the city to experience the city through their senses. And on that trip, I was going to stay with somebody, and I lost the person to suicide. So that's where, and it was a colleague. She was going to take pictures of the tour. She was a dear friend, and it came totally out of the blue. And I'm describing that process of basically that time I was there in Paris when it happened, through my own emotions and feelings, how I experienced it. But also, it brought back to the surface a gift that I have, and the gift is that I can read energy, and that as a child I already used to talk with people that had passed. And so a couple of months ago, I was working in a group where we do energy reading, and in that group, so everybody is kind of very sensitive. And somebody told me, you're going to be asked to work on a project, and it's going to, and there's somebody with me here, and she's telling me, or he's telling me, she didn't know if it was a he or she, it's called The Gift. You have to call it The Gift. And I didn't know what it was about. She said, is it your father? I thought, no, I don't think so. So I left the call, and then I sat on the couch, and suddenly I thought, of course, it's Angelique. Of course, it's Angelique. I felt suddenly that it was her. And I had not felt the connection with her since I went through the trauma. So I have been in contact with.
And to
Yeah,
Beatrice, just for the people watching, Angelique is the lady, your friend, who committed
yeah,
suicide while you were in Paris.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So she basically came into the call, and the other lady was a medium to bring me the message that I had to say yes to this project. And then 3 days later, I was approached by the publisher asking me, did I want to be part of the book Phoenix Rising, Powerful Women Who Rose from the Ashes to Claim Their Place. That's actually where it clicked, probably. I thought, oh my God, this is what it is about. I have to say yes. And it's my friend Angelique that wants me to do this. So basically, I co-authored the book with her. Yes, I wrote it together. We wrote it together.
But this is very special, right? That she came to you, that you were indeed invited, that she already told you before you actually knew it. But there's for me another also very essential part that I really would like you to share with everybody who's watching and listening, because there's a reason why you're calling it the gift, isn't it? Can
That's
you?
right.
Sorry.
Because now, yes, that's right. Because when I started to communicate with her about the project, also the other lady came in now and again to help me reestablish the connection with her. And Angelique was telling me about my gifts and how I had neglected my gifts, and how, yes, I don't want to tell too much because I think people should read the book. So, but in a nutshell, it's about she was shining the light on my gifts and wanting me to shine.
And I'm with you. You don't want to give it away because where the book is for. But I know that it all has to connect with your spirituality, right?
That's
You're sharing now this story, which for some people might be too far out there, and everybody does and accept what is suitable for them. But isn't it so that this has been something, without going too much into it, that you've been struggling with your whole life, and now that you've accepted it, it's like,
Yes, absolutely. That's right. Because I had these gifts, and because I grew up in the Netherlands, which was a very rational society, is a very rational society, I basically, outside of my family unit, inside my family, I felt very safe. I had very loving parents. My father was highly sensitive. I have a very telepathic relationship with him as well. And he was very loving, and my mother as well, very encouraging, very down to earth, but she was very loving as well and curious. So she kind of helped me a lot. But outside the family unit, in the school, or at parties, or I just felt lost because I had things to say and I said them, but they were taken. It was very confrontational for people, basically, because I had a lot of wisdom to share, and then I sensed something and I would say it, and people would just not know what to do with it. So it's also understandable from their perspective. So I have no judgment around it anymore. But I left the Netherlands as a result, and it was it was not. I was also very curious about other cultures. It wasn't the only reason, but it was part of the reason. And because I left, I went on my own inner journey while traveling, and more and more and more and more, I did accept my gifts. And I think, often creatives are very intuitive and are also very highly sensitive, and have contact with with things that we can't see. But yeah, that's about it. I was hiding a lot. I was hiding a lot up till basically 2 years ago, when I started to be coached by you, and when I started to, after what had happened, there was no escape anymore. I needed to look at the complete Beatrice in order to fully land here on earth. I basically wasn't here completely. I was just a bit here and a bit not there. So I just couldn't really be here fully as I was, because I didn't feel accepted. And now going live, for instance, with this subject is just, for me, it's not even difficult anymore. So that's the transformation. And writing the story, and the writing the story for the book has been a big part of that, I think.
I hear you. And I first of all, I love that you're sharing this story so openly, because I've been part of your journey, and I know that it hasn't always been this easy. So we're really, really grateful and happy to see that. And I think first let's shall we cheers to the success of your book,
Yes.
and to your success.
A good idea. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink, clink.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a sip. Yeah, this is a special moment, right? You publishing a story, a book, it hitting the bestsellers, and not just that, because that's momentum to celebrate enough, but you accepting your gift, you inspiring others who also have a gift that they may feel uncomfortable going out with, or not fully accepting it. Because that's what I see a lot, that people have something different that they don't want to label as special. They actually, and it happens a lot in society, different, is unique, but it's not always accepted. And a lot of times it's made fun of. So I really, that's why I love the story so much, because it is about accepting who you are and embracing the gift, and then rising up like the phoenix, right?
That's right. And the most important part for me, of course, is helping others with it. That's my big drive. My big drive is that I discovered that I am actually so good at helping others, because I can read energy, and that is my gift. And that's what drives me. Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling when you find what is really lighting you up, and when you embrace that. And that's what I love helping others now with as well, to find their life purpose.
Yeah, I love it. And I think it's also, in a way, this whole experience, it brought it about. It's really like a turning point in your life almost, isn't it?
Yes. Now, I had another turning point in my life. I won't talk about that now, but I've had another traumatic event much earlier in my life. I think sometimes we are kind of, shaken. It's almost like an earthquake. We're shaken by something that happens, and it's to realign ourselves. It's to shake us into who we are, and to wake us up. And when it happens, of course, you think, oh my God, what's happening? And some people can't deal with it, which is totally understandable, because, things that happen can be extremely difficult and traumatic. But I think the more you turn around something into something positive, so from the negative into the positive, when you do that in your life, that's where transformation happens, of course, but also where life doesn't seem to have to shake you as much anymore, hopefully. You never know. But you know what I mean? It seems to have that function.
Yeah. But I think you're very right. You had two life-shattering experiences, maybe even more. But when you go through them, it is always very, very difficult. And then it's almost up to you to decide, what do I do with it? Do I take the lesson from it? Do I incorporate it and see it as like the engine for transformation? Or do I really get beaten up by it and kind of don't take it aboard but struggle with it? And I'm saying it very black and white. It's not as black and white, because I'm not saying, hey, if you're going through something tough, you shouldn't, you can't feel angry or sad or whatever emotion going through. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I know I've had some life sharing experiences for myself, and some I could quite quickly see as a blessing in disguise, like my burnout. I was like, okay, this really was a lesson. And others, it has taken me so long before I could finally see the lesson. But once you see it and you embrace it,
That's right.
it's
Yes,
such a relief almost.
it is a relief, and I'm totally with you that we have to go through the experiences. Actually, I think it's even very important to really go through those emotions and to not push them away, to allow the anger, the frustration, the sadness, and all of the emotions to go and run through your body so that they can be released. It's when we suppress them that they will pop up all the time back up in your system. So it's very important to feel all of those emotions. And sometimes you're at the edge. And to be honest with you, I was at the edge in this experience. It was very tricky. It was a how do you say it? Tiffertal. No, I can't find the word. I know there's a word for it. It's like this can go right or can go wrong
Yeah.
feeling.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people go through that at the moment as well, because I think that, of course, the situation with COVID and everything has triggered a lot of situations where it's very challenging. And I think we're all invited in that to also collectively try to find different ways to live. I think that the collective trauma, which is also there, is inviting us to birth a different world, a more beautiful world. So the gifts are more important for that reason. It's we all sing a song, and together we have an orchestra. If we leave out notes, then it's not a song anymore. So that's why I think it's so important to find your song, to find your gift, so that you can participate and that you also see, okay, I do have a role. Everybody has a role. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has talents and things they're good at. You only have to discover them, only because it's so hard. As you know yourself, I found it terribly hard. It took me years and years and years, decades, to find what mine were.
Yeah. And
But it's
sometimes
possible.
you might know it, but you might not accept it. That's also
So,
a very thing that I commonly see. Or you know it and you kind of reject it because
mm,
it has given you so much grief in the past. It has, so many people made fun of it. That's also what I see a lot of times, and that's really, yeah.
painful.
But it's good that you're there to help people to unravel it and to use it to their advantage. A quick question on the book. Is it just for female to read, or is it for men as well?
I think it's not related to females or males. I think again, to be honest, actually, it was really good that this question was asked at the start, because we are going towards the other extreme where women are helped, supported so much, and men sometimes seem to be left out, and they need help as much as we do, and they have gifts as much as we have them. So I think actually, yeah, there is a big need to to balance the femininity and the masculinity, but from both sides.
Love that. Okay, so I'm just going to show the book one more time. Phoenix Rising. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This
we
is
will put a link in the
yeah.
underneath as well, and that will pop up the image too. So if you can buy the book now for 99 cents. If you buy it today, you can get it for 99 cents in your own time zone till 9 o'clock. So basically this morning, when it went live, when it was launched, we reached the bestseller status in a lot of categories within the first few hours. It didn't even leave Australia yet before it was a bestseller.
Oh, wow.
And it was amazing. But the beautiful thing, I think, is that it was like a wave of positive energy going from east to west, because it started in New Zealand and Australia, and then it went all around the globe, and it's not reached the US yet. So it's they're waiting to be able to buy the book.
Nice.
So I'll send the links, but you can buy it from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the evening in your own time zone today.
For 99 cents.
For 99 cents. And afterwards you can still buy it, of course.
Yeah. Okay. And it's an amazing book. It's not just your story, but there are many stories in there to read. And
about 20 amazing women in there that have told their stories, that, how they rose from the ashes.
I like it.
Yeah.
So we're coming to an end of the show today, Beatrice. Is there something that you want to end with, a message or something we didn't touch on that you feel like you need to share?
I don't want to introduce anything new, but I want to say to people, be yourself, and don't care so much anymore what other people think, because it's such a relief, and it's such a release when you stop finding it so important. And that's where I went through as well. Since I'm bringing in my spirituality, I just think, okay, you either take it or leave it. If you don't like it, or if you can't relate to it, that's totally okay with me. But this is who I am, and this is what I've experienced. And if you can gain something from it, that's fantastic. And if you don't, then that's fine too. But be yourself. Bring in what your truth. Speak your truth.
Right. And then to end up with with what we're talking about today, find your gifts. And if you want to read Beatrice's inspiring story today and all days following, but today is a special day, buy the book Phoenix Rising and look for the story in there, which is labeled The Gift, because that's your story, and that's all about how you can be true to you, right?
That's right. And in the book, when you buy the book, there is a link to my heart activation meditation, which will enhance your intuition. So if you want to start somewhere with enhancing your intuition, that's a beautiful place to start.
Okay.
And that's my gift to you.
Love that. And if people have any questions or want to reach out or just want to chat with you or have queries about the book, they can email you at beatrice@beatriceboots.com, right?
Yeah, or LinkedIn is also very good. LinkedIn, and it's my own name. I have a namesake, but if you look for Beatrice Boots, hopefully you should be able to find me very easily. There's not a lot of them.
Okay, excellent.
And I'm in Australia.
Well, Beatrice, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me, Yvonne. It was a pleasure, like always.
Great. And if you were watching, if you have any queries or you're watching this in the replay, please feel free to leave us a comment and we'll come back to you. And with that, I'm going to end today's show. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, same time, same place tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.